Red and yellow soils. Red soil develops on crystalline igneous rocks in areas of low rainfall in the eastern and southern parts of Deccan Plateau. Now you need to remember first the conditions. Red soil develops where? On crystalline igneous rock. Okay, igneous rocks are of two types. Okay, what are the intrusive igneous, extrusive igneous? You studied this in class 8. Igneous rocks are classified into two: intrusive igneous, extrusive igneous. Now crystalline rocks are intrusive, okay, but they are found on the earth, they are exposed to now on the atmosphere. So red soil develops only where there are crystalline igneous rocks, and that area is having low rainfall. Two conditions you need to remember: that red and yellow soils are found where there is crystalline igneous rocks and where there is low rainfall areas. Now, which part of India it is found? Eastern and southern parts of Deccan Plateau. Now, it is better to go to the map and understand. Look at the map which is given, the soil map. Look at that map. Now look at the map and you see that the Deccan Plateau, the black soil. Now, around the black soil, except the northern part you leave it, when you come to the eastern side of Deccan Plateau, you find red soil. When you come to the western side of Deccan Plateau, you find red soil, and you find even the southern part. So three sides your black soil is covered by red soil. So it's very easy to remember where red soils are found: in the around the Deccan Plateau areas, in the eastern side, in the southern side. Even a little part is there in the western side. I hope you have understood this. Now moving to next slide. So very easily you can keep in mind, red soils are found in crystalline igneous rock. They are found in crystalline areas where there is low rainfall, and it is found around the Deccan Plateau in the eastern side and southern side. Okay. Yellow and red soils are also found in parts of Odisha, Chhattisgarh, southern parts of Middle Ganga Plain, and along the pediment zone of Western Ghats. Now, you need not to remember these names. It's not easy. The best way is only to go to the map, put the map in your mind, and very easily we can remember. You must know the states. Suppose if the state comes, if the picture of this map goes in the mind, and it's very easy. The south part of India, maximum south part of India, is covered by black soil. It is known by the name Deccan Plateau. Clear? But around the black soil in the eastern side, southern side, even a little part of western side, there are red soils. So this map is important, which must go to your mind instead of by hearting the names of the state. Clear? Now moving to the next line. Now this is the main feature which we are going to learn now. These soils develop a reddish color due to diffusion of iron in crystalline and metamorphic rocks. Look at here. In the beginning, it is given that it is crystalline igneous. Clear? But now it is also given here, it is also found in the metamorphic rocks. Now, why the color of the soil is red? We know black soil is black in color because it is derived from igneous soil. Igneous soils are made of lava and magma, which is black in color. That's why that soil is black. That is one reason. But the second reason why it is black, because iron content in the black soil is more. That's why that iron content gives black color. But here, irons have different qualities, different varieties. But here this iron gives red color to the soil. That's why it is known by the name red and yellow soil. So iron gets diffused in the soil. That's why the color of the soil is red. And now why the color is yellow? I will tell you the color is yellow because of the moisture present in it. So when the soil becomes hydrated, look at here. It looks yellow when it occurs in a hydrated form. Now, hydrated means whenever there is moisture, and the moisture will come when there is rainfall. So, it is already given, it is found in the area where the rainfall is low. So, whenever there is rainfall, little rainfall, these soils will look yellow. So, it's a very small paragraph and very easy to remember. I told you no need to learning the name of the state. It is not possible to remember. The only way, look at the map and give the feedback to your mind that around the black soil, at the periphery of black soil, there is red soil. And red soil is found in the crystalline igneous rock areas having low rainfall. Then the special feature of red soil is that it gets the red color because of the diffusion of iron in it. Clear? And it looks yellow whenever it is hydrated, or whenever little rainfall is there, it looks yellow. So very easily you can keep in mind, and I think one picture of red soil is given in the textbook. Check it where the picture is there of red soil. Laterite is given, arid is given. No, red soil picture is not given. Okay, no issue. Now I'm moving to the next soil, that is your laterite soil. Now you need to understand the meaning of laterite. Look at the first sentence. Laterite has been derived from the Latin word later, which means brick. Okay. Now the meaning of laterite is that it is taken from the Greek. It is taken from the Greek language. No, not Greek language. It is taken from the Latin language, and the meaning of letter means brick. Okay, from that it is taken. Now the laterite soil develops under tropical and subtropical climate with alternate wet and dry seasons. Look at the line nicely. Now what is given here? These soils develop, or these soils are found in the tropical and subtropical climate with alternate wet and dry season. Now you need to understand the climate of tropical and subtropical area. Do you know in which area we live? Anybody can tell me what is the climate of our area, maybe of our country? In class 9th, I have taught you no climate. Tropical, yes, we are falling in tropical as well as in subtropical, both. Half of the India is falling in the tropical, that is Tropic of Cancer is passing from the middle part of India. So south part of India is falling in tropical, north part of India is falling in the subtropical. So we have both the climate tropical as well as subtropical, and we know we don't have throughout the year rainfall. So we have wet as well as dry season. Now rainy season is going on, so we will have rain of other 4 months. Then some months are almost dry. We don't have any rainfall. So keep in mind, laterite soil will develop in tropical and subtropical areas where the climate is wet and dry alternatively. That means few months or maybe few days at a stretch, 15 days or 4 months rainy season we have, rain will be there. Another 4 to 5 months or another 1 2 months there will be dry season. So wet and dry season must be there for the development of laterite soil. Go to the next line. This soil is the result of intense leaching due to heavy rain. Now first you need to understand the meaning of leaching. Now what is the leaching process? Do you know leaching process? Now leaching means whenever there is rainfall, the rainwater will come on and settle down on the top layer of the soil. Now In the soil, there are some minerals, maybe silica, maybe lime. All these will dissolve. So whatever the minerals which are dissolving in water will dissolve, and along with the water it will percolate inside the ground. So some of the good minerals which are found on the top layer will go inside the ground because of the leaching process. I hope you have understood now what is leaching. Let me know. Did you understand leaching? Please do respond.
Yes, ma'am.
Leaching means
Yes, ma'am.
whenever there is rainfall on the top layer of the soil, some of the minerals will dissolve along with the water and will go inside the ground. Now, when so many minerals of the top layer goes inside the ground, now top layer will become infertile. I hope you have understood. The good minerals dissolved in the water and went inside the ground, and the top layer now has become infertile. We can make it fertile by putting the fertilizers or chemical fertilizers or manure. You can make it fertile, but because of leaching process, it gets infertile. Laterite soils are mostly deep. Look at here. Laterite soils are mostly deep to very deep, and even it is given acidic, and the value is also given here. Generally deficient in plant nutrients and occur mostly in the southern states. Why nutrients are missing? As I told you, because of the leaching process, the nutrients go inside the ground and the top layer becomes infertile. So it is not fit for growing crops, but we can make it by putting fertilizers. So the areas are given where laterite soil is found. Now the areas where laterite soil is found is given here. Western Ghat, southern states, that means in the south it is found. Western Ghat areas, then Maharashtra, Odisha, some parts of West Bengal, northeast regions. Okay, now let me see in the map. Look at the map, then it is easy to find out the laterite soil. Look at the index. Very light pink color is laterite soil, and it is not found in big area of India. Look at, I will start right from the north. Look at in Rajasthan, there is one patch. Look at in, again it is in Rajasthan only. Touching your black soil, there you find a small patch of laterite soil. Go to northeast in Meghalaya, you can see. In Mizoram, you can find out there is one small patch. When you come to the eastern coastal plain near Odisha and West Bengal, you find a small patch. Again in Odisha, one small patch. When you come to Tamil Nadu, you can see a small patch. When you go to Western Ghats, look at the Western Ghats. A long belt-like area is there where you see the. Now go to this next line. Where these soils support deciduous and evergreen forests, it is humus rich, but under sparse vegetation and in semi-arid environment, it is generally humus poor. Now point to be noted. It is given here, understand the sentence, where these soils support deciduous and evergreen forests. That means, actually one picture is given. You look at the picture to understand. Now, is this area completely covered by forest? Which you see? No. Only little bit forest is there, and you can see that some areas, the patches, the rough surface is there, which is not covered by forest. So, wherever forest is there, not everywhere, wherever the patches of forest or patches of trees are there, this soil gets humus. You know what is humus? The dead parts of plants and animals provide humus to the soil. So wherever the forests are there, wherever the trees are there, so whenever these dry leaves fall down, they give them humus. But such areas where in the picture is given which is not covered by forest, there is no humus content in the soil. And you know The soil which is not having humus is not fertile. So I hope it is very clear. You have understood nicely. Now moving to the next line, they are prone to erosion and degradation due to their position on the landscape. Now this picture is where defining you everything. Look at this picture. It is not a flat surface. It is very rugged area. Even the soil layer is not to be seen. The rough rocks are there. Now what is given here? Wherever this type of soils are there, now ups and downs are there, hills are there, then erosion will be more, degradation will be more, and when rain is there, whatever little thin layer of soil is there, it will take away. So these soils are more prone to erosion and degradation because of the landscape. Landscape is the top layer. It is not flat area. It is undulating. It is hilly area where rough rocks are present. So these soils are more prone to degradation. Okay. Now, going to the next line, look at that. After adopting appropriate soil conservation techniques, particularly in the hilly areas of Karnataka, Kerala and Tamil Nadu, this soil is very useful for growing tea and coffee. Look at here. After adopting appropriate soil, look at the appropriate soil conservation techniques. Do you know what type of agriculture we need to follow in the hilly areas? Anyone? In the terrace farming. Yes, correct. We must go for terrace cultivation, means cutting the slopes into steps. Otherwise, we can go for contour plowing. It is almost similar. Wherever the flat land, use the flat land for cultivation. Wherever the slope is there, leave it. So we can go for exact techniques of farming in this type of soil, maybe terrace cultivation, maybe contour plowing. Then this soil can be used for some of the crops. And it is very good soil. For two crops it is given here. One is tea and one is coffee. Clear? And tea is mostly grown in the slopy areas because tea needs enough water but not the standing water. It must slide down very easily. So do remember, and it has come in the board examination many times. Okay, from last 30 years I am seeing that this question has come. Which soil is fit for growing cashew nuts, or which soil is good for tea crop, which soil is good for coffee? So do remember, again name of states also we need to remember. Wait here, I will tell you for tea and coffee and cashew nut which states are there. Look at that paragraph nicely. Now Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu. Soil is useful for two crops, tea and coffee. Clear? Now for cashew nuts, you will find different names. Now for cashew nut, it is red laterite soil in Tamil Nadu. So first state is given Tamil Nadu, next state is given Andhra Pradesh, next state is given Kerala, are more suitable for crops like cashew nut. Now which state is missing in the cashew nut and it is there in the tea? Assam. Oh no, my dear, we are not talking about Assam here. Previous line, Karnataka. Karnataka is missing here. Very good. That answer only I wanted from the student. In the previous line, tea and coffee, it is given that it is done in the state of Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu. Now, cashew nut is done in Kerala and Tamil Nadu. So you got the two names, similar names, only Andhra Pradesh is given different and there it is Karnataka. So that difference just put in your mind. For tea, it is Karnataka, it is Kerala and Tamil Nadu. For cashew nut, it is Andhra Pradesh, then Kerala and Tamil Nadu. So this difference you need to just put in your mind. Two states are common. Even if you remember those two states, it's very good. One is Tamil Nadu, one is Kerala. So both the state is fit for tea, coffee and cashew nut. But Andhra Pradesh is fit for cashew nut. Karnataka is fit for tea and coffee. So this difference you need to just keep in mind. and it has come in the one line question in the board exam. Okay.